Yeah.
Honorable Chair, I rise to report that the quorum does exist for the Select Committee on Agriculture and Rural Development to commence business.
It has been reported that a quorum does exist for the Select Committee on Agriculture and Rural Development to commence business. Those in favor say aye. Aye. Those not in favor say no. So the ayes have it. So we'll now review on adoption of the agenda. Can anyone move the motion to adopt the agenda without amendment?
Move the motion to agenda.
Any seconder? It has been moved and seconded to adopt the business of the day without amendment. Yeah, thank you very much. Mr. PS and your delegates, we are very, very sorry. We are very sorry 1,000 times, and I realize that some of you are here before 10 o'clock. But you know, honorable members don't have mobility now, and most of them are traveling very far distance. So that is why they came very, very late. We are very, very sorry about that. This is very unfortunate, and this will not have happened. And we emphasized it before you guys come in that it's unfortunate. And I repeat myself, we apologize for any inconvenience caused. So you all have the agenda in front of you, right? They don't have the agenda. Okay, so the agendas are as follows: individual prayers, which we have done, review and adoption of the agenda that was moved and seconded by honorable members. Now we go to the third one: review of the procurement documents from the GGC regarding the procurement of the fertilizer. So GPP is not here. They are not here, right? Yeah, because they said they have an exam, so they will not be able to come here. So I don't know whether the following people are in attendance. Ms. Fatima Lee, we are here. Mr. Alhaji Bari, okay. Mr. Momodu Baji, not here. Mr. Abdullah Cham, Mr. Buba Jane, Mr. Sanabaro. Huh? He's not here. Oh, exactly. Yeah. Mr. Abdullah Touré, who is Abdullah Touré? We are just an observer. So that means, by way of implication, you were there observing everything that happened.
Yeah, I was there observing the information.
Exactly. That's why I say, by way of implication, you were there from day one up to the last day that all these things, all this process was happening, right?
I cannot say day one up to the last day, but on this evaluation process, I was there. So
all the evaluation, it was a process, and it was day one. I'm sure this evaluation was not done one day.
Yeah, I don't know what he meant by that. Yeah.
It's not a say. I just you were there observing means that you are aware of everything that happened. That is just the.
I want to be very specific. I was there for the evaluation process.
Exactly.
So day one up to the last day of what happened, you are not able to play on that. I was there on the evaluation date. During the evaluation process, I was there present. I think that's right.
Yeah, that is why I say, by way of implication, you are aware of everything that happened during the evaluation process.
Yes.
Correct. Exactly. We're talking about the same thing. Now, we have the committee, and we're also going to thank you for submitting these documents. I think when we requested these documents, you guys wasted no time to supply them to the National Assembly, and we congratulate you for that. Because this is a national process, and we are all presiding over national process at our various capacities. Okay, so we met on the documents, and the researcher, even though honorable members were not opportune, some of them, they serve in different committees. So you have 24 committees. Some honorable members serve in more than 3-4 committees. So that by way of that, they are overstretched on certain committee works. So the documents came, and we acknowledged the receipt of them. The researchers made some points, few points. Myself, I took over the documents and went over them just to see some certain things that happened. So we looked at it, and I realized that most of the processes were blessed by the GPPA. That is why it's unfortunate GPPA is not here today. They said they have exams, which I'm sure might inconvenience us not to finish this process today, because they should also be here so that we sat down as stakeholders to see what really happened. Now, when I went over it, and the researchers, I think we all have a copy from the researchers.
Analysis of the
Exactly, yeah. All honorable members? Okay, thank you very much. So for me, what comes to my mind is what value do we get from this procurement process as a country and as a government? For me, if you ask me, we did not get any value from this procurement process. Even we get a value that is very, very minimal, which to me, if you ask me, is very, very unfortunate. Now, also, I think it is high time also we distinguish between what is buying and what is procurement. We need to be very, very specific about this at all times, and we also need to make sure procurement is not a performance. Procurement is a process, especially this amount that went up to $11 million or so. This was not a small procurement process. So, but it's like in the process, the Ministry of Agriculture and its aligned institutions were not able to distinguish: are we doing procurement or are we in fact buying? Another thing that I realized from the documents is the vendor master list was supplied by your procurement officer. Who's the procurement officer? One of the letters, the procurement officer name is mentioned there. He gave you the master list of your vendors. But to my biggest disappointment and surprise, this master list of vendors was something not adhered. Even though, yes, through in the process, I realized that you eliminated some of the companies based on certain criteria, but the due diligence that leads to that, the committee was not able to see that, which is also very, very, very unfortunate. And in the first place, we came out with this idea of making a restricted tender. This shouldn't have been a restricted tender, but if you want to scold the Ministry of Agriculture for this, we will be very unfair to you people. That is why I want the GPPA to be here. Why did they approve a restricted tender for this process? Why do they approve restricted tender for this process? Another thing we realized was you guys, I think it was 6 companies you solicited, and subsequently lots were divided into 1, 2, 3 lots, and contract was awarded. But this contract was awarded in a period of 2 years. So what I did not see, and this might lead us to further submission by your ministry, the contract was a period of 2 years. There was a renewal, but we did not see any process that leads to the renewal. I don't know whether you guys are following. The contract was awarded for a period of 2 years. So why was the fertilizer not delivered within that 2 years? Do you understand? That's number 2. The process, there was renewal of contract to the same contractor, but the process that leads to that renewal, we couldn't see it. So probably that my honorable members, we may ask them to further submit that process. Because you can only renew contracts like that without processes. So we'll be very happy if we can have that process that leads to renewal of contracts to the said companies. Another thing that disturbed me and also disturbed other honorable members was the fact that in the bid document it was clearly stated. When we are evaluating, we set our criteria and we must go by that criteria. That is why we are evaluating, and that is why the contract subsequently must be awarded to one person, because for sure not all the suppliers will adhere or will be qualified for those set of criteria. So what I find so disturbing was we said specific to that assignment or specific supply. What I did not see, this company, some of the companies that were awarded, they did not supply fertilizer to the government of the Gambia before. So I don't know what made them qualify to be awarded the contract. And also another thing that I realized, when we are setting criteria for bid document, it cannot just be open like that. That is why I say at the end of the day, I will say the whole procurement was a process having few companies in mind to award this contract. Because otherwise, there are some criteria that we are so open just to make sure these particular companies are within the bracket to be awarded this company this contract, which is very, 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 very unfortunate. So now I will go over the researchers, what the researchers find out, and I will want the Ministry of Agriculture and these officials to pay attention to all details and explanations. No, today we will read this and they, yeah, exactly, they respond. That's why they're here.
I think you will given it as a flow. The members can be asking in accordance to.
Yeah, sure. Members are allowed to ask any question with regards to what you observed there. But because of this document, with the researchers, went over the documents and they were able to abstract something for us that we're going to ask the Ministry of Agriculture officer to respond to us. So from there, members, we don't have any question. We are scrutinizing them. Do you understand? You can ask them any kind of question. So now that is it. I want the ministry, you people to pay attention to all this and explanation here, because we want questions for all of this one by one. You are not under pressure. You may answer these questions here. That's why I said they should have a copy. Yeah, that would be very good.
Honorable Chair, if I can propose for you to go through.
Yes. Yeah, exactly. Why exactly? Yeah, we do that so that we don't waste time. We already spent it more time. We are, as I said, you are not under pressure to answer all of these things here. You can, you can go to your office also and respond. Do you understand? Because there are certain you may not be able to respond them here. Huh? Yeah, what do you members, honorable members, what do you want?
I don't think they need this stuff.
Okay.
What they need is to their question from us.
Okay.
Then they respond to the questions.
Okay.
They will go back and then back to us.
Second. Honorable member.
I think they may need, because we are reviewing this document, and this is the agenda. Well, only we divert ourselves, but our topic in this course is already here. So it will have been important you have the paper and guide us, and each and every one of us follow. Then there are also questions attached behind.
Okay. No, I think this is their performance. You understand? This is something that they knew. This is what they went through. So for me, they should not have this. I second.
It has been moved and seconded. It has been moved and seconded that the honorable members don't want you people to lay hand on this document. Then, as I will be reading, if you pay attention to it, and probably they'll also come out with their questions, please. Yeah, let's move, please. Now, as I say, you are not under pressure. You are not under pressure, and people, especially people whose performance of 3 companies for the supply and delivery of lot as follows. Lot 1, Zen Enterprise to supply 10,000 metric tons of NPK 15:15, 15:15, etc. at a value of 9,650,000. The company met the contractual requirements but needed to improve on it $101,600 US. The company fulfilled the contractual requirement as well as delivery schedule. Lot 3, Unique Solution to supply urea 46% at USD at dollar price 3,525,000. The company met the contractual requirements but needed to improve on its delivery schedule. So were we monitoring the delivery timeline? Because I think I realized some fertilizers were not delivered at the right time. So were we in fact following these delivery schedules? According to the letter communicated to the aforementioned 3 companies dated 5th October, the contract to supply fertilizer was for 2-year period. 2-year period. Okay? And 2021 and 2022 farming seasons. That's why I say in my preamble statement, the contract was awarded for a period of 2 years, but within that 2-year, 29th October 2021, but the initial date the contract was signed is unknown. Discrepancies. After reviewing the document, we realized that there were discrepancies. The amount sent to GPPA for approval for Zen Enterprise to supply was 10,000 metric ton. However, the contract document signed on the 1st November 2022 indicates that the company is to supply 7,000 metric tons. Now the discrepancy arises. Who will supply the difference? And how was different supplied? If the original Blood 2 Gulf Global was to supply 7,000 metric ton as contained in a letter dated 26 October 2021, however, each contract of 29 October 2020 only indicates 5,500 metric tons. Here also, we see some discrepancies that need to be addressed. Lot 3, there was no amount of metric ton stated for unique solution other than urea 46. Okay, maybe they don't understand that. Let's forget about that. Okay, maybe the researchers don't understand that aspect. That is always condition percentage. That's okay, but it's a very good job. Please, bid evaluation report. Bid evaluation report and recommendation of award contract for the procurement and delivery of fertilizer was conducted on 9th February 2021. Remember, we are still, yes, Honorable.
I just want to suggest, like for example, we go point by point.
Okay.
When, like for example, when you read from point 1,
okay,
allow us to digest and work on it so that the question will not be compiled.
Yeah. That's okay. That's in order. Okay, that's in order. That's in order.
That's fine.
Oh, okay, Miss Fatmali, your procurement officer supply you how many names of companies? How many companies? When you told him to develop the master data for your vendors, who has got experience in?
If you would allow us to maybe introduce ourselves.
Yes.
And then we'll explain the process, like
okay,
what we went through and how we go about it.
Okay.
And then maybe perhaps if you have any questions, you can answer.
Members, what is your name?
Mohammed, yeah, the managing director.
Can you introduce? In fact, it's a very important thing. We have introduced ourselves. Huh? Yeah.
I think we are and it's headed by with the questions. If the questions,
honorable members, huh?
If the questions can be asked to him,
yes, and
if he wants or prefer a staff of his corporation to actually respond to the question, then obviously can be given to that part. I think that for me would be more.
Honorable members, the officers now interjected that they will want to make a submission so that we can ask questions. Do we agree to this?
That's fine.
That is fine, right? Yeah, correct.
When a person is told to the MD, if anyone of you can answer, it's a teamwork.
Yeah, exactly, correct. Indeed, it's a teamwork. It's a teamwork. Nobody carry the whole institution knowledge and memory. That's why we all work in institutions. So, yeah, all PS introduction from PS introduces us so we know who are sitting.
I have another.
Okay.
Yes, since we're discussing on a sensitive matter,
okay,
I think it will be really important to have the members of the ministry to take an oath before this committee, considering our standing orders. Because I think with the issue of the fertilizer, we really need some candid answers. It will be important to have the members of the ministry to actually take an oath, looking at standing order section 101.
Yeah, thank you very much. Thank you very much, honorable member for Janjambure. Ministry official, honorable members, the honorable member for Janjambure move a motion for Yes, this is what I always say. Permanent secretaries are the chief technocrats of the ministry. This whole process happened under your watch, under your ministry, under your mandate, and you don't have anything to say. Is that what you're telling the committee, honorable members?
Exactly, that's what I'm saying.
Permanent secretary, a chief technocrat of Ministry of Education, Agriculture. Is here we talk about a process. Let's take it easy. Talk about a process that he witnessed, that he presided over, that he gives directive, but he still cannot say anything to honorable members.
This is a
Do we agree to this?
fully self-accounting.
Huh?
It's a fully self-accounting institution under the ministry.
Yeah.
I think the permanent secretary has direct involvement.
Yeah, okay.
Direct involvement.
Okay, it's okay.
Right now, today, we are just looking at direct involvement.
No, it's fine.
Okay, if you're not giving testimony, that's okay.
I can stay. But I'm
Yeah. It's okay. If you have no knowledge, it's okay. Honorable members, it's understandable. He said he has no knowledge of the fertilizer
If you want
issue.
me to stay, I will not stay. But
Yeah. Fair enough. If you don't know anything, it's okay.
We can let go.
Yeah.
yes, I was just quite pointing out that if I can be excused, I will.
I think we will prefer, sir, for you to stay and serve as an observer because it will be important in the whole process.
The only recommendation I have is,
many new things.
yeah, the only recommendation I'll make to the permanent secretary is from the minister. You are in fact, permanent secretary are the accounting officers.
Yes.
Are the accounting officers, honestly. But next time, I will advise you to pay attention to this type of sensitive details under your watch. It's very, very important. Okay. Yeah. So start from me.
I think this should be very straight to the committee.
Yeah.
As the PS of the ministry.
Not giving testimony.
Let me put it in the form. If there is to be any procurement of fertilizer, I think the PS should have been the first person to be aware of any communication.
I agree.
So if he is to say he hasn't got any idea about it,
Maybe I can help here also. I don't exactly know when this process started. I may not have been at the ministry at the time it started.
But then, when it comes to institutional memories,
Exactly, that's what I mean. I understand that, but I mean, as a self-accounting officer, basically, in the previous procurement, when I was at the ministry, I was involved in the procurement. In this particular procurement, I was not involved in, because I was 2 years away from the ministry when I came back. I don't know when actually it started and what. But then I'm just saying that I'm not trying to.
Since I was a PS, when this thing.
I'm not trying to. I am not trying to excuse myself from any responsibility. I'm just stating a fact.
I understand.
Yes, that's what I am trying to do here.
I understand.
I was involved because when I was there, I was involved. I made sure that I was involved in the procurement process. But in this procurement process, I was not involved.
I understand very well.
So
But when it comes to institutional memories, as the
exactly. So that's what I wanted to make a proposal also. I think this document should have been sent in with the letters. That would have allowed us to make the necessary investigations. Because just like you said,
yes.
The office is a continuous office. So maybe if we had got access to this, whatever the questions were, then maybe I would have made myself afraid with the issues. Even in fact, right now, I'm still surprised that it's not being shared, because I don't think there is any secret in this document itself. I think for ease of communication, for ease of the process, it would have been more efficient to share the document.
No, I think, in addition to that, what do you ask?
No, that's what the proposal. I'm not challenging anything. I'm just making my observations.
Chair, the reason he mentioned something sensitive here that we should have shared this to you. This was a practice from your ministry, right? You understand? Now,
From your document.
listen, Chair. Listen, PS. This is from your practice, and this is something we may expect from you, and not from us to you. You understand? This is your practice that we are going to.
No,
I think the issue here, yes, honorable member, honorable member. Somebody is on this level already, honorable member, yeah?
Okay, what I'm saying is, let us not try to assume here. He's saying, I think. But then, even within us here, No one can come from outside and say, I think you are the chair of this or whatsoever. Let us try to know exactly from them. So I had to mention since yesterday, GPPA will not be present, but yet still we will continue.
Yeah, sure.
So that GPPA will be present has a meaning, because I know for this procurement, GPPA is pivotal there. So I'm coming in, allow me, or you want to take it from
Yeah, when I say GPA will not be present, I meant...
Can you allow him to launch here?
No.
Let's learn from him.
Okay, yeah, come.
Well, let's not assume that it was his role, or he was there, or he was not present. Now you want him to take oath, and now you want him to push him to a corner that he said he has no understanding of. According to him, sometime back he was absent at the ministry as PS. Then, and you also previously mentioned that you may allow time for them to go back and make check-ins that they are not good.
Honorable member, I will interject you here now.
No, 1 minute.
You are deviating from the interest of the committee.
Let me allow. So, okay. Then give him time to go back and make the resign. Looking back at the interest of the committee, now you said we have a paper in front of discourse, and all our discussions are centered here. To make work easy, I think this is our topic of discussion. We would have just continued on this paper. You assign someone to do the work. He has already done it. Everything is on this paper.
Not everything is on this paper.
Almost. But you assign your researcher to research something. He has done it and reported. 1 minute. Let us follow.
Honorable, so I have no choice but to interject here now. Yeah, wait. You started from GPPA. That I said, and that has meaning. We were at a naming ceremony, one of the best. I told, in fact, are you guys coming tomorrow? He said, no, we have exams. Is that meaning clear? I don't think we can come there tomorrow. That's why I said DPA might not come tomorrow, because one of them, their key staff member told me they have names, they have these exams today, so they cannot come. Whether we can adjoin, I told them, no, we cannot adjoin this. If you guys cannot come, but we have to interact with agri officers. So you say that has meaning. And also, I will advise all of you, okay, later we can treat that later. It's okay. It's okay. Just what yes, Honorable Kora. It's okay.
Brand's focus is on, let us focus on the gift. That is, since we, wait, please. Allow me. Let us, since we assign our class to go out and do an extraction of the document that the ministry submitted to us. So, and the document is with us now. So, and it has a questionnaires at the end. So,
Moriba, can we have one session, please?
I think he's saying that let us concentrate on these documents and forget about all the other things. Then let us work on this document.
Thank you very much, Honorable.
We will go through it, and at the end, there are questionnaires. Even before, I was not aware of these questions, but I get to learn from him that there are questionnaires at the end of the document. So he said, let us just continue the way you started it until the end. Then we can throw the question to the officials, then they can respond.
That is okay. What I want you people, honorable members, also to understand, these questions and recommendations here is not exhaustive. It's not.
No.
This is less than, you can still have 10 pages again beside this, raising the same issues or different issues from this document that we are supplied to you people.
But for today, since they submitted this, our researchers submitted this to us, let's focus on this. Let's focus on this.
Chairman, I have an observation with all due respect.
Yes.
Yeah. Honorable, can I say this? I think there is a motion moved.
Exactly.
And the back and forward is not really helping us here.
That's correct. That's correct.
Seems to be more of confronting each other than actually
which is very
looking at the actual work And to be realistic here, there is a motion move. Can we look into that motion and ensure we're able to progress?
So PS recused himself from giving testimony for lack of knowledge of the procedure. Committee accepted this, right? So move to the other guy, please. PS, okay.
Affirmation. I, Mohammed Jai, do hereby affirm that I will speak the truth and so help me God.
That is if he's giving testimony. Are you talking?
I don't know, maybe I
okay, then, okay. Yeah, you may, okay. It's okay, it's okay.
Affirmation. I
will speak the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth. So help me Allah.
So help me.
Barrister, how can you rush this?
I pray to hear affirm that I will speak the truth, the whole truth, nothing but the truth.
GPP and office is not one individual. They should be here. Exams is not an excuse. If the director also is not here, we expect another staff. This is content. We cannot compromise such. I agree with you. Dynamic process.
Okay, thank you very much for that oath taking. Now we said at the latter part, nothing but the truth. This is a national process and this is not a witch hunting. We just want to put the record straight. So let's always be very, let's focus on that, nothing but the truth. Yes, so now honorable members, we give them to talk. So later we give them, raise them these questions, right? I think that's what we agreed. Yes, your name again? Mohammed Jai. Managing Director. JGC, okay.
Okay, thank you very much, Mr. Chair. And thank you, other honorable members of the Agriculture Select Committee. I think we are delighted to be here to answer to the calls that we made. A request that we wanted to know about the procurement process. I want to believe that we have fulfilled that request, that is compliance in the first place, which is to submit on time, because we were given a week and we were able to submit within that week. But just to give you a background of the procurement process, DGC, we are also currently mandated to buy fertilizer on behalf of the country for the farming population. But what we do is we look for the funding to secure the financing. We go to the bank to borrow funds and then buy the fertilizer. But because of the magnitude of the funds, obviously we need the approval of the government because they would have to provide a sovereign guarantee, because the banks would also require a guarantee for them to give us the resources.
Approval from where?
The Ministry of Finance, to give us the guarantee, give the guarantee to the bank to give us the resources.
You mean by way of that mandate? If the amount is not at that magnitude, you may not even consult Ministry of Finance. This is what you're telling the committee. that you can do certain financial procedures by yourself.
No. I think you are getting
magnitude is lesser.
No, I think you are getting me wrong. What I'm saying is, if you go to the bank to borrow funds, the bank will require collateral. Yeah, so that collateral is the guarantee that the Ministry of Finance provide that, okay, GGC will pay back. And I think we've done it last year. We took the loan, we repaid the loan, but we were guaranteed by the government. So there was no payment from the government. It's just a guarantee. So once we do that, then we solicit, I mean, we start the tender process. But I could remember, what is it called again? Last year it was...
Honorable members?
Yeah. Last year, you know...
Honorable members?
Last year, securing the financing was a bit difficult, you know, from the banks. You know, obviously, banks will also have to look at their liquidity profiles and things like that. So it was a bit slow. I think that was the reason why we even started the process around November. And in fact, if you look at history, fertilizer was arriving late in the past, almost around the rainy season, August, you know, September in some cases. But in 2021, when we looked at the international market prices on the internet, because of the pandemic, the prices were going up. And we thought that it was necessary for us to take a prompt action, which was to engage the banks and then engage the government to give us that.
Sorry to interject you, Director. You go to the internet, find out the prices of fertilizer. Mr. Barrister, is that a good due diligence?
I mean, it's in context.
No, but there are internet fraudsters everywhere.
Yes, I'm coming.
So what due diligence mechanism was put in place to even make sure that price is not...
No, I mean,
it's not
Mr. Chair, I think...
yes, but I want the barrister so...
No, allow me to continue my explanation. I think, you know, I think for us, we want to believe we're here to find solutions, not to find problems. You know, because at the end of the day, we are all serving the same population, which is the farming community and the Gambians. But we serve in different capacities. We serve as an oversight, but we also serve in our capacity to support the farmers. And we have the same interest to help the Gambian people. So I want to believe that let's try to understand what the issues are, how we came about the process. If you have any questions, maybe you can interject. I am speaking as the managing director. I'm also actually the chairperson of the contracts committee. But I can delegate. That's the reason why I delegated my staff. Okay. But any responsibility in that corporation is my responsibility because I am the chair of the contracts committee. So just to continue the background. If you say internet, we are living in a global village. We are living in technology. We are living in, people are not living in textbook age anymore. So we have to go to the internet to look at things. And there are credible sites where you can go to look at information. So we obviously also do our due diligence by looking at those credible sites and those sites that we look at. So what I'm trying to explain here is that we, at that time, we all knew, even on TV, you know, if we are not living in denial, if you watch CNN, BBC, Al Jazeera, I want to believe you can call those ones are very, very reputable media houses. They were reporting all over that fertilizer prices were going up at that time. So we had to take immediate action to ensure that we give our farmers, our farming community, the fertilizer that they require. So in that moment, our contracts committee engaged the suppliers that in the first year, because what we did was, in the bidding document, we said, we don't want every year tender. If a particular supplier wins a tender this year, we can negotiate or renew that contract with that particular supplier the next year. So the contract committee engaged those suppliers on a negotiation, and then we realized that the amount of funds that we had could not buy what we bought for. The last year we bought 20,000. So it's true that we said 7,000. I know he was explaining things. But when the prices were being negotiated, we realized that we could not buy that quantity because we didn't have the resources at that time. That's why we reduced the quantity from 7,000 to 5,500 and from 10,000 to 7,000 and the urea from 3,000 to 1,500. Yeah, but we did that. The committee evaluated, and in the evaluation process, every step of the evaluation process has to go through GPPA for approval. even to get the bidding document, we need to get GPP's approval to approve the bidding document. GPP approved the bidding document. We went to the next stage. We said we want to do restricted tendering. They approved restricted tendering. Go ahead with restricted tendering. We said now these are the suppliers that we have evaluated and then found to be most responsive, and they did that. So just to, because he was talking about procurement as a process. GDC has been here for the past 50 years. I think we have. I have confidence in my team that they did the right thing in terms of the process, the procurement process. That's why it's a process. You have to identify the suppliers. You have to do this. You have to go through every process. Process has to go through GPPA for approval.